Hello everyone. Ecotech team comprising of Aman, Jyoti and Yanli would like to present their views on sustainability in automobile industry. Why have we chosen this industry? According to the facts and figures, we note that automotive industry is responsible for roughly 15% of global carbon emission equating to 8 billion metric tons per year. We'll briefly take you through the presentation map. Firstly, we'll discuss the negative impacts of automobile industry on sustainability, efforts automobile industry has made towards achieving sustainability. Based on our research, we'll further discuss how automobile industry understands sustainability, and lastly, we'll discuss where we need to position on the business society environment spectrum. Based on Kate Roberts' sustainability donut diagram, we see that only a perfect balance between environment and social factors would lead to a safe and just space for humanity. Based on this diagram, we'll discuss further analyze the negative impacts which automobile industry has on climate change, waste and pollution, social inequity. It is quite alarming to note that one car can create so much damage to the environment. There are five stages involved in the manufacturing of a car. First stage, where extracting of raw material is involved, causes about 26.5 tons of waste and 922 million cubic meters of polluted air. In the second stage, where the transporting of raw material is done to the production, that causes about 12 liters of crude in the ocean for each car and about 425 million cubic meters of polluted air. The actual production of the car results in 1.5 tons of waste, 75 million cubic meters of polluted air. Finally, when we drive the car and it's on road, it creates further damage because it's 18.4 kilos abrasive waste and 1000 cubic meters of polluted air in the environment. Disposal of the car causes most pollution, which is about 102 million cubic meters of polluted air. So, my friends, when next time you buy the car, think twice and please think green. Let's look at the impact on the environment by the emission of all the greenhouse gases during the life cycle of motor vehicle. For example, carbon dioxide emission causes global warming. Methane causes photochemical smog and increases global warming. Sulfur dioxide causes acidification of oil, which damages forest and wildlife. Mononitrogen oxide causes eutrophication and formation of ozone at ground level. Hydrocarbon causes photochemical smog, which depletes the ozone layer, and R11 causes breakdown of ozone layer. Here we have got some other data for the toxic effects of materials, components, and processing of motor vehicles, which as brake debris, tire particles, painting, and batteries. 93% of battery lead can be recycled, but the rest of 7% releases 42,000 tons of lead into the environment, which is quite a lot. There is no doubt that the heavier the vehicle is, the more toxic it releases. In terms of social inequity, negative impacts of automobile industry can be reflected from unstable employment in developed countries. When an automobile industry shifts plant to a developing country, for cost reduction purpose this happens. While shifting plants to developing countries apparently seems to contribute to local economic growth and creating jobs. However, on the other hand, those car makers also consume limited natural resources and social resources in those developing countries to realize their self interest. Automobile plants normally are very large and they work with wealth generation into concentrated particular locations. They are not decentralized across the country and society as a whole. Cities such as Detroit and Stuttgart are heavily dependent upon car production, but such agglom- agglomeration forces tend to have profound negative consequences in many areas of development, such as overcrowding, rural depopulation, and so on. Moreover, the toxic effects of materials, components, and processing of motor vehicles harm the health of the employees and accident endangers their safety. With these methods negative impacts, let's have a look at what automobile industry have done to reduce these effects. Sustainable value approach was developed to solve these problems. Sustainable value measures the efficient use of economic, environmental, and social resources and express the result in a single integrated monetary measure. Establishing methods for valuing companies are used for this purpose. It measures the use of environmental and social resources exactly in the way as companies currently assess the return of capital employed. It treats environment and social assets as scarce resources that have to be used in a value creating way. In order to calculate sustainable value of individual car maker, we have to know how efficiently the benchmark used the resources. Global automobile industry as the benchmark is calculated by total EBIT produced by all companies is divided by the resources that they used. Then individual car makers can calculate their efficiency of using resources. This table shows that sustainable value created by major car makers from 1999 to 2007. To be clearer, we convert the table to the diagram where we can see that Toyota and BMW are ranked at the top. Both companies generate positive sustainable value continuously. Not that McKinsey's electric vehicle index is also a good measure because it indicates the extent to which nations are ready to support electrical vehicle industry. The data comparison of 2012 and shows that more awareness is generated amongst the countries and more initiatives have been taken both at supply and demand side towards supporting electric vehicle. Clearly, Japan emerges as a leader. Japan's eco innovation strategy targets all the three important fields like technology, business model, and societal system. Companies are switching to green supply chain for a sustainable approach right from the design of the product to the recycling stage. Companies are making conscious efforts to reduce pollution. Here you can see one example of Toyota where they have been able to recycle up to 99% of material used in car manufacturing. Recent research shows that in developed nations like France and Germany, sustainability has remained the central focus of the government policies and private sector projects. Government has allocated funds for various projects like manufacturing of electric and hybrid vehicles. Taking a leaf out of developed nations, emerging nations like India and China have moved towards sustainability. Government sustainability vision for automobile sector includes developing of hybrid and electric vehicles for the masses. For example, government has announced custom duty exemption for hybrid and electric vehicles and granted funds for research and development in e-technology. An interesting CEO study conducted by a consulting firm Accenture in 2010 shows us that 62% of CEOs consider sustainability as a very important issue and 38% considers it to be important. Automotive executives see enhanced reputation and consumer demand as the greatest opportunity of sustainability. Some of these CEOs felt that government rules and regulations actually lay the path for sustainability. However, interestingly, only few CEOs are personally motivated towards sustainability practices. Majority of CEOs felt that apart from consumer demands, other stakeholders such as communities and employees also influence sustainability. The survey again confirms the theory for safe and just human space, which reflected the importance of integrated system for sustainable development, which is possible through congruence between social and environmental factors. Majority of CEOs think that sustainable development in future can be achieved by increasing awareness through education about climate change and eradicating poverty. The most pertinent question now in our mind is how to position automobile industry on the business society environment spectrum. Is it people oriented? Is it planet oriented, or is it more towards profit oriented? From our earlier explanation, we see that automobile manufacturers have considered sustainability as a key issue for future development. They became aware that their policies and procedures have negative impact on the society and environment. Hence, majority of automobile manufacturers have implemented the sustainability approach into their business practice. According to the various critics, the definition of sustainability in automobile sector still remains vague. Sustainability approach allows automobile companies to increase resource productivity and reduce waste, which increases their profits and maximize shareholders' value. In most cases, sustainability initiatives are only used for market differentiation, which helps the companies to gain competitive advantage. Also, the approach of excluding the social and environmental performance from the financial statement alongside passing all the externalities to the consumer conveys the message that bottom line still lies towards serving the shareholders first. The e-car initiative towards achieving sustainability might not be environmental friendly as electric cars will contribute towards scope 2 of greenhouse gas protocol. In conclusion, we would like to say that automobile industry is positioned as the new classical economic model. It is not that growth should not be achieved, but the idea of achieving super economic growth at the expense of environmental resources is not realistic or sustainable enough. For the long term economic survival, it is imperative for automobile firms to make profits because ultimately the growth of the companies will provide for both shareholders and stakeholders, which in this case are people and planet. Thank you.